Welcome to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast, a racing show for the fans by a fan. That was just for you. I haven't got that put on the video yet, but we'll work on that. You know, got to get them cans open. Actually, I don't have anything I can. I have a Coke Zero.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, Coke
I got a Mountain Dew, too.
I had something out of a black bottle from Kentucky, not Tennessee, believe it or not, because I'm terrible. Discord is trying to tell me. I joined this Discord group to get in some stupid iRace, and I'm just kidding. And I just never stop getting notifications from this group.
I'll tell you how to do that here later.
That's all right. I could figure it out, I'm sure. I just haven't done it yet. It doesn't bother me. I just like, it is funny though, because I'll be iRacing and then it's like, just that little annoying noise it makes every time. Like, and sometimes I'm like, man, they must be getting at it. What's as many as I get back to back to back. But anywho, how's your Monday?
Oh, it was good. Nice busy day at work. Good weather.
Busy. Oh, yeah. Shoot. Did I get some trade-ins this weekend?
All kinds of them.
Oh, yeah. Did we work on any Fords?
A couple. One or two.
Let's see. What did I do today? I drove a truck in a circle and came back and then left work. Had to go back to work for a meeting. It was terrible. But we talked about the new safety shoes they're going to let us wear, which are camouflage Crocs. It's going to be our new safety shoes. Decided by me and me only. We'll see how that goes.
Shit.
But yeah, no, it's been a good week. I've been pumped all day. You know, my girl got the dub last night, and I'm pretty excited about that. I know it's not really our usual day here to record these. Hopefully we'll do these on Sundays and release them Mondays, but I don't know. We'll figure that out. It might be Mondays, release on Tuesday. We'll see how it goes. If anybody has any comments, you know, anybody that listens that knows me, text me, send us a thing on Facebook if you don't know me or whatever. But we're still trying to figure out if we're going to do Monday or Tuesday. I kind of like Monday better because, you know, I mean, do you listen to a lot of racing podcasts on Monday generally?
No.
No? Really?
They're usually not out.
There's one that's out every week. I listen to it as soon as I go to work, and I like it because they do it right at, it's a teardown. They do it right after the race, and, you know, sometimes stuff will change, and I kind of like doing it that way too, just like my own opinions before I get my mind melded by X. I didn't say Twitter. That's one. Before I get my mind melded into whatever everybody else thinks, I like to get my opinions. But other than that, did you enjoy the Clash at Bowman Gray? I know we're not getting to that yet. But did you enjoy it? Did you watch it?
I loved it.
Asleep?
It was great. No, I was watching it.
I really was not excited like coming into the race to watch the race. I was like, it's going to be another short track. We're not going to pass nobody. They're not going to hit. Nobody's going to get moved. They'll probably run side by side. You know, they'll just downshift and get away because, you know, that's how it's been. And it wasn't. So I was pretty happy with it overall, but we'll get into that more here in a little bit. I guess, you know, to kind of do our thing, we're going to start here in the dirt world because I know that's what you prefer and kind of what I prefer. Most of the time anyways. Did you tune in and watch any of this Alltech Lucas stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I caught all of it there.
All right. Well, do you have any comments you wanted to make about Thursday night? I guess we'll start there.
Man, I am not a fan of Devin Moran, and I've never been more happy for a flat rate retire.
Really? You don't like Devin?
I do not.
What's up with that? I mean, that's fine. I don't like it.
We were having a conversation about this last night with the team and
like your iRacing team.
Yeah,
when he says team, he's talking about iRacing team. They dominate the paint. Don't worry.
We were kind of discussing about how there's a couple of us that are like, for no reason, we just don't like him. So it can't be considered that bad of a thing, I guess.
Yeah. You know, like, I get that. So I like the team. I like Double Down Motorsports, Roger Sellers. He's grown on me that now that he's been there. When they got rid of Channing Buckingham and all that, I was like, come on, man, Roger. What are we doing? Not Devin Moran. But the honest truth is, I think I didn't like him because he's in that Tide Touring car, and I hate how that car looks. I don't know why, but I absolutely hate it. I was kind of sad when Nick Hoffman went there. Um, they don't race it all that much. They also run Road Outlaws. I would rather it be Lucas. Devin's grown on me. The other thing is, we've seen him a couple times, like last year and even the year before, like in pits and wherever we were at, Eldora, Smoky, wherever, and like he's so small and harmless. He's kind of like a little kitty cat, I just I, I
I
feel bad.
guess.
I feel bad for him being so small. So like, how can you not like the little elf in the red fire suit? Um, and the car's grown on me too. I hate white race cars. You know that. Even when Davenport, this guy, when he got the white car at first, yeah, that guy up there, I hated it. I was like, what are we doing? Like we went from that Rumley number 6, which I really liked, and we went to the Lance Landers and went to the white, and it was okay, and had a CPS sponsorship, which was cool because Papa was always buying crap from CPS back then, and I borderline like that, and then that changed over to Nutrient and all that, and I like the white with the cape is a lot better. I feel like I wanted to ask you this again. I'm getting a little bit ahead of the Bowman Gray thing. Did you think that Chase Elliott's Napa wrap was almost a little bit throwback to CPS 49 and 7 for uh uh why can't I think of his name, Jared Landers?
Not really. No, that never crossed my mind.
Okay, I was just like the all white with the fine lines of blue. Something about that I thought was a little bit reminiscent for some reason. But I like Davenport, and obviously I like the black car we're in now. So, but I mean, I don't hate Devin. I felt bad for him actually. Flat tire kind of ruined it, and then Ricky got the win,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. On Thursday after Ricky got the win, I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna be a long weekend." Is that
and it
pretty much?
was.
I mean, yes and no. Like I, uh, I was surprised at the track conditions Thursday night. They clearly didn't put any water on it, um, and I really wasn't sure that was going to be the best for Ricky. And Devin was better, and I think that's part of why he was better that night, just for the record. And Ricky got it done. He got out, and what was that the night he said the thing? No,
No, that was
no, it
Friday
was
night.
Friday night he said the thing. But the only real complaint I had about Thursday night was the track prep. Like I was upstairs watching, I was like, "Damn, we're gonna get this thing done." So I'm talking about, and then we went into 2 hours of track prep, and it was 2 hours, and like I don't know about you, but what irritated me is every time they would show it on Flow, it would be like nothing. Like there was no tractor. They had like two tractors, and that was
Yeah,
it. Two tractors and one water truck, and like I don't even know what the size of Alltech is. I think it's close to a half or whatever, but it's a big track, and it didn't feel like very much. Even the attachments that they were working with were only maybe like 8 foot wide. It took a long time. Overall, though, I have to say I give them guys a lot of credit. I thought that track really came in Thursday night for the feature, put on pretty good racing, top, bottom, all that. But 2 hours, dude, we got to do something about that, right? Like,
yeah,
I know that last week we talked about Volusia and stuff, but like, one thing that I think they do better on the World Outlaws Tour at this current moment, and I think they'll get better for Lucas, is they work with their TV partners at Dirt Vision to get the show moving for people that are at home, not at the race, and that is kind of the number one priority for Dirt Vision. I mean, do you tend to agree with that?
yeah. I would
And they
definitely say that.
they almost would be like, hey, we don't really care about the track prep when you get this on the road. Try again tomorrow. But like I said, it took them a long time. They got it done. For those of you that are involved in the Dirt World X, there was some talk about watching track prep and that not being allowed. And, they locked the gates. I saw the picture, which is hilarious, actually, if you ask me. And hey, maybe that's why the racing was pretty good. I don't know. But yeah, so that worked out. Got that done. RTJ gets the win. You're looking at going probably RTJ's about to sweep, come out of Speed Weeks with the Lucas points lead. Great. So then we go to Friday. And let's see, Friday, Alberson set the track record, right? They
Yeah.
soaked it. Absolutely soaked it after Thursday night.
Yeah.
And it was juiced. Alberson came out, set the track record. It was like, was it a 14? I should have it right here somewhere. I don't have it. Either way, he smoked him, and he was running pretty good. I'm trying to remember. Did you go on mute, jerk? Um, hey, listen, we don't mute on this podcast. This is the Caution Flag Contemplation.
Well, I figured you wouldn't want to hear me clicking.
Hey, I'm all about it. We got editing for that. Alberson ended up. That was when they had that wreck for Shepherd, right?
Yeah.
In the heat race.
I got his lap time here if you want to.
Yeah, what was it?
It was a 16.430.
And they were running like an 18 on Thursday in qualifying,
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, it was absolutely hauling ass in comparison. The track, like I said, was wet. It turned into like this weird thing off two, where like you basically were gonna hit the wall and flip, and like it was digging really hard. I don't know if they didn't have enough shock in the right front to get it up out of it, or they just started bouncing or what. But I saw one of the things I saw on X said when Alltech turns into a skateboard park,
Yeah.
from guys grinding the rails on the wall. At one point I thought, man, they really need to put a catch fence on that wall, because like there was some guys that I thought were gonna go over it. I think one of them was either Hilsebeck or
it was Troutman.
Yeah, one of them two cars. We're gonna talk about that too in just a minute. But they did that. Sheppy's flip was pretty rough. Not what you want to do in speed weeks,
Yeah.
for sure. Turned one over and about junk it. So that was rough for him. I thought that it was going at the end of that one, like after the heats and kind of watching them guys have it rough. I was like, do we really need to be having 3 nights at this giant racetrack?
Yeah.
For Lucas, I mean, dude, they start at Golden Isle and they go here. That's high speed. Like, you can tear some crap up pretty quick. Before, when it was like straight from Golden Isle to East Bay, nobody was really junking anything down there too bad. Just sheet metal, right? I mean, there was some hits, but nothing like what you're seeing at the speeds that you're seeing at Alltech or whatever. And I was like, I'm just not sure this is really a great idea. But it worked out. My boy Spencer Hughes, the man, and the Yellow Hammer Motorsports or whatever car got up there. I was really sad when he got kicked out of that other ride he had, or whatever happened there, and he ended up.
Strickler drove for a while, right?
Yeah. And now he's with that team that Harrington was with out of Alabama, which is cool. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the name for that one, but
JCM.
Yeah, JCM, that's it. And they're all cool guys. And I like Hughes, man. I think it's cool. I know they were giving him a hard time about that street stock win on Flow. I was like, Essex, there's nothing wrong with a street stock win. Like, damn, at least he won something. That's better than I did. I've been sitting on the couch winning and drinking beer. Damn. But do you remember that day whenever they were at the Ice Bowl and I sent you a picture of that car, though?
Yeah, I mean,
I was
it
like,
straight up looked like a late model.
It was the most late model looking street stock I've ever seen. There's no way that thing was legal. Well, maybe it was. I don't know. He won, so I guess it was. But so I was glad to see him up there on the front, and he ran up there, finished third. It was awesome. Ricky Thornton Jr. got up there and pretty much took off, left him. Dalton Wilson was kind of up there for a minute, but it just looks like it was going to be another Ricky Thornton night. Is that pretty much your takeaway from there?
Yeah,
Anything you wanted
for
to know
sure.
about that whole show?
I mean, that whole night he was just dominant.
Yeah, and they got done better time on Friday. They had some crates or something. They ran some of them, but they were done at a lot more appropriate time. Not 2 hours track prep. Track was good. Whenever Ricky won that one, I was like, well, I wish I could bet on this for Saturday, because I was 100% sure he's winning Saturday after that.
Yeah.
guess it's a good thing that didn't work out.
Yeah.
But other than that, we get to Saturday. We had no supers on the track. I'm pretty sure all they had there was Crown Vics crates. Um, what? Okay, listen. No offense to the Crown Vic class. Why in the hell are we heat racing Crown Vics?
Dude, you're asking me. I mean, they
Did you
need to be
see
a
that?
pill draw,
Did they
honestly.
do like hot lap or qualifying? Or I think they qualified them, or I don't remember. The first time I turned them on there, the Crown Vics, the fastest guy was 5 seconds faster than the last one in his group. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now, I don't know. And I really wanted to ask you about this. I figured you know. Do you think all those Crown Vics down there because of the Freedom Factory?
It could be, and there's a couple of YouTubers. Fleming Family Racing, I think, is one that they race them down there, and they actually race them on some asphalt tracks down there
Yeah.
too. And they mentioned that on Flow a couple of times. I think like Auburndale, they run them on dirt or on asphalt there and an asphalt short track,
There was like 3 or 4 of those Flemings won heats or
something like
qualifiers or
that.
whatever they had. I don't remember what they had, honestly, as far as that goes. But they had all that, and, I was like, this is cool, but like, guys, we really need to get the show on the road. I don't know. Something about it just takes away from the Lucas thing whenever you bring them
Yeah,
Crown Vics out there. Um, so they had that feature lineup there. Overton and RTJ started on the front row. Spencer Hughes got fourth there. He did win his heat, I believe, which is good again. And Ricky looked okay. He was running like fourth, I guess, whenever he absolutely junked it.
yeah.
Dude, that was a hard hit on the front stretch there at Alltech. I'm not really sure what happened there, and I was curious, is that car gonna have to go get clipped again? Didn't they just clip it like after Golden Isle or Volusia? I
Probably.
know that they took it back to Longhorn because they kept talking about it on the broadcast or whatever. I can't remember if that happened at Golden Isle or Volusia, and they brought it back down. I'm like, man, that car's had a rough year because it probably was going back. I would
Yeah.
say right now they're probably working on it. We're recording this on Monday. Obviously, they kick off Tuesday at Ocala. But overall, man, I felt like uh, Devin Moran gets the win there. Finally, got it. I felt like he deserved it. He ran good all weekend. I think he was pretty much in the top five. The flat tire, that one hurt. That was the last lap flat tire.
Yeah.
I know you and him aren't best friends. Apparently, I didn't know that, but I know that now. Felt bad for the guy, but he got the win, and I'm okay with it. I hope that he's up there in the points. I kind of want him in the top four again. Um, we didn't really make top four predictions last week for Lucas, and we're still gonna wait till we get out of speed weeks. But I uh, I think we might have a good chance at looking at the same four we had last year when we were at
Yeah.
Eldora. Just kind of from what I'm seeing so far, I haven't really seen anybody that's convinced me that they're gonna be up there, other than them yet. I feel like after overall weekend, like kind of my notables is like we still really haven't seen all that much out of Overton. They got faster there Saturday. They finished seventh. Was anybody there in the field you kind of wanted to note that surprised, bad, good
Shepard. I
so
mean,
far?
what have we seen of Brandon Shepard? He's back in the Rocket One car, and he's really, I mean, T Max honestly had a better start to the year than him now at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Obviously he junked the one, and I think they had some motor issues too. I don't know what the deal is there for sure. I guess maybe just getting back in the cars. I mean, he's been running Longhorn, I guess, but those bigger, longer tracks aren't necessarily his specialty either.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I, I'm curious to see what they do there for sure. Um, T Mac, he's kind of been a little bit of a nothing too.
But he's been better than Shepard, who's back in the house car for Rocket. You would figure,
Yeah, 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 for For sure. Carson Ferguson got the top 10 there. I think he's going to have a long year, man. I hate to say it for Carson. I know that, like, we saw him around here the last couple of years running some spring nationals, southern nationals, and all that, but I don't know that he's ready for the grind of the
Yeah.
full Lucas tour, and
Yeah.
it might be a little bit ugly for him, but he'll get it figured out probably by the end of the year. But, the talent's just so much better. That's one thing I was thinking about. Just like, compared to anything else you see, regional, local, whatever, like that, these fields are stacked. I mean, really, from 1 to 20, pretty much every night. If they put it together, they can win. There's probably only 15 cars that are really there, but there's another 5 that if they hit it right can win. I would say for sure. Um, Kind of to wrap up the Lucas, this is an interesting topic I had that's not in the notes. I was curious, what would your ideal, like Lucas touring night look like at the track? I'm just curious. Like
Like, what
you're
do you mean by that?
like what if you owned a track, let's say you go by the junkyard that's now 411 Motor Speedway and you're going to host the Lucas Oil Series here for a race. What would your race night look like? What support classes would you run? How would you run those other classes? Like
Uh,
how many classes? What would they be? And would you qualify hot lap? What would you
yeah.
do?
I would definitely probably throw, a 604 crate, maybe a street stock. I would definitely throw something out that's not a late model, you
I
know.
agree. Amen. Preach.
Uh, Probably for the support classes, just hot lap qualify though. Maybe lock in like your top 12 and do a B main or 2 B mains or something.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I put some thought in this because I was irritated. First of all, nothing against Crown Vics, front wheel drives, and all that. They really don't have any place being there without having wide tire cars, really. Other than, I guess, a modified. Really doesn't have, in my opinion, much business being there messing up the track. Also, if you get to a situation where you need the track run in, it's better to have the cars there, in my opinion. Um, but I'm also with you. I'm not really a fan of like all late models. Like for the Sunshine Nationals, it's cool, but that's kind of their thing, right? They go down there and they run the 3 classes of late models. Some guys run double and triple duty and all that. That's fine. This is what I decided it would be. I would run open wheels, street stocks, and supers. That's what I decided I would run. If you wanted to run a crate, if you had some kind of crate race, I don't. This is what I don't want. I don't want $1,000, $1,200 crate race, like 1,500 and up. Really, like 2, 3 grand. Like let's
Yeah.
make it a real late model show if we're gonna do that, and then pick one of the other two. But I think I would start out with hot lap qualifying for one of those support classes. Turn around, hot lap Lucas. Turn around and hot lap the other one, and then qualify Lucas. And then do your. I would do what you said. Actually, is exactly what I said. Is take how many ever and let the rest of them run a B main. Lock the top 10, whatever. Let the rest of them race to make it or go the trailer. Run those, then run the heat races, then run the other one of those, then run the B main. Then turn around and run one feature, run Lucas feature, and send them home. But keep it rolling. I like that. I just, this hot laps and qualifying, like hot lap qualifying, I've said it on this podcast 2 years ago. And thankfully, most tracks are getting a clue. If you have a support class, just hot lap qualify, please. And even for, like, if it's a big crate show, dude, like, show up in hot lap qualify and then run the B main. Because here's the thing, nobody's coming from 30th. Like,
Yeah.
if you hot lap qualify 30th, you're not to finish in the top 10 in a crate race, right? If you have 35 good crate cars show up and you don't qualify a hot lap, whatever, top 12, you're not winning the race. You're not making that good of adjustments. It's great, man. Like, you either have it or you don't when you get there. I know that they can make adjustments, but not from that far back. Obviously, if somebody has some kind of difficulties, yeah, we like to watch that if they're blowing up or they got some kind of mechanical and they get it fixed. But other than that, I mean, they need to work on that. I hope Flo. I'm a Lucas guy all the way, but I hope that Flo and Lucas can look at Road Outlaws and realize that like that show really is going to help in the long run. One, if they ever want to sell this stuff to TV, like actual TV, and I'm telling you, I actually don't know that we're that far away from actual TV for some of this stuff because this sports is what matters. This time of year, there is nothing else on. Can you, like, I was thinking about this the other night. They could run this on ESPN too, and more people would watch it than some of the stuff they're showing.
Yeah.
Not college basketball, but the other stuff that's out there. I mean, they definitely could. So I'd be curious to see if Lucas starts to look at that and how they start working with the tracks. And obviously, tracks have to work with that. Overall, what's your grade for All Tech being a part of Speed Weeks down here? Do you want it back next year? Do you not? Do you want to move Speed Weeks back? Do you think they should run 3 nights at All Tech at the
I
start of Speed Weeks?
actually really like that track. I know they didn't have the best track work. It was a little rough and slick and rough and all that stuff. And,
Yeah.
like Ricky Thornton Jr. said, everybody wants to complain about the track but you just got to be better and drive through it.
Yeah, I loved his quote. I actually really like the track there too. I mean, it doesn't have to have character. Here's the thing: that track race is pretty good. There's usually a couple lines, and it's difficult. And I think it being flat and fast makes it difficult. Something that I wish we could have gotten. We had a flat long track here. That's now a 3/8 like every
Yeah.
other track in East Tennessee. But it never raced that great. But this one does, and so I hope they keep coming back, and I hope some of the keyboard warriors on X keep it down. I like the race, the whole not watching track prep thing. Maybe we need to start not watching track prep everywhere else and make tire choices harder. I mean, it's gonna be hard to keep them from watching, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like I they raced good. The races were good, pretty much all of them. And I was in serious doubt Thursday. I was in serious doubt Friday, and it worked out. So, good job there. I would like to go there and see a race myself. Is that track on iRacing?
No, it is
I,
not.
I didn't think so. iRacing, get on it. Steve Myers. I know you're listening to Steve. Just get down there and scan it, please. I kind of want to race it. I'll probably wreck because I'm terrible at iRacing because I'm out of practice now. But other than that, Lucas moves on next week to Ocala, Tuesday through Saturday. I guess that's really the true East Bay replacement there. I was curious, do you think they're going to do like that strawberry dash and give out strawberries? They're going to carry any of that stuff over there? I guess we'll find out.
Who knows?
I also am not sure, but from what I remember, like, used to have some guys didn't run the Tuesday or the Wednesday.
Yeah.
It wasn't really points or whatever. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely looking forward to watching it. Starting Tuesday night all the ways through. Is it Sunday or is it? I was trying to remember. Is it Sunday or is it Saturday? I think it's through Saturday. February 8th.
Yeah, I think that's Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's Saturday. I was just curious if they're going to run against the Super Bowl because I know what you'd prefer to watch. So,
Yeah. I'm sure we'll
got
talk
him.
about that later.
Oh yeah, I bet you've been loading bets up and you're just
Yeah,
ready to
right.
make money.
Yeah.
All right. We'll shut the dirt down for now until we get to making some picks. We got a new picks segment coming up here at the end of the show. And we're going to do a little bit of dirt racing pick. It's a little slow this week when we get there, but it'll be good. Moving on to the Clash. Oh, yeah. The 9 car gets the win, baby.
Yeah.
Just like I wrote it up.
Yeah.
I'd just like to remind you that I picked Ryan Blaney against everything in me. You know how much I hate Ryan Blaney. And mostly because I know this one guy that likes him. I just hate when he wins because he wins everywhere we go. He's been a Logano fan and a Blaney fan, and I swear every race we go to, Logano or Blaney wins. Or it used to be Brad Kay. Hell,
Yeah.
back in the day, every race it's been one of them three. And I've been to a fair number of races. Never seen Jeff Gordon win. Never seen Chase Elliott win. I think I saw Larson win once last year, maybe, finally. But, it's just one of them things, man. But, so I was holding that clip. I don't know if you saw. I put it on X last night of where I made the pick for Blaney. I was holding it till the end of the race there, and like
Yeah.
I was really wanting to get up here and be like 1 for 1,
Yeah. Yeah. One spot
yeah.
short.
But he was 1 spot short, and I was really torn because obviously, I got the hat, I got the stickers on the toolbox back there, and I got the shirts and all that, and I wanted Chase to get the win. But I was like, man, I would like to be right for the first episode. That'd be nice. Just take JP down 1-0.
Yeah.
We're not counting the points for race picks like that for winners unless you actually hit, which is really hard to do. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't understand that. Like, it's 1 out of 40. Like, it's actually hard. But congratulations to Chase, the number 9 team. Got the win at the Clash at the Coliseum. Clash at the
Bowman
stadium.
great.
Stadium, not the Coliseum. Um, Dude, that thing was awesome. I was, at one point, I was thinking about buying tickets to go. This thing's only like 3.5 hours from my house. And I was like, no, it's probably going to be a joke like the Coliseum. And it was completely not like the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the modifieds on Saturday?
I did not get a chance to watch that
So,
race.
the modifieds is like, Priest was in there for some reason because I guess he thinks he can run modifieds. Every time I watch Ryan Priest a modified, he wrecks, which he also does in the Cup Series.
Well,
Sorry, Bad Brad, but your bill's gonna get expensive this year. Anyway,
it's
so
okay.
he
He's
was.
the model for that team there, beat
So
everybody out of the way.
so this is what was interesting about Priest, and I was just. I know it doesn't really matter, but like he ran a 41 modified, and it had like the Stewart Haas Racing font 41, and I'm like, he don't even drop for them. They're not even a thing anymore. So I thought that was kind of weird, honestly. But I guess he wasn't gonna go with the 60, but I thought his modifieds are usually like a 6. Is kind of what I thought, but it was interesting. What was really cool about that to me was like all the guys that normally race there that were in that race were just talking about like how much it meant to be there for a NASCAR race and get their chance and win. And obviously, I mean, I'm trying to think how old you were. I'm sure you remember the show
Yeah, it
history.
was
Like,
maybe middle school. I was in
yeah, I
middle
mean, I
school or
think
something
Dad
like
even
that.
watched that with us.
Yeah,
Like, and it was crazy. And like Burt Myers and Tim
Tim
Brown
Brown.
fighting and all this stuff. And like it was an awesome show, and I was so pissed when they didn't bring it back for another
Yeah,
season. Which
yeah,
there was some talk about that this week on TV and stuff, and it sounds like they basically couldn't because of the non-political correctness going on down there at Bowman Gray. Um, but like so it was cool to watch them guys. They both had rough races. It was a rough race, and they were talking about how there was more wrecks even for them in this deal, and it's just because of the intensity, man. Like everybody's paying attention. It's not just the people in Winston-Salem. It was literally pretty much everybody. It's a race fan anywhere. So that was really cool. I really liked how that worked out and how they did a great job tying that back to the local level. I get a lot of credit to that, which obviously I'm giving credit because everybody cares what I think. Um, but I think Flo and Matt Dillner did a lot of work on that for some of the stuff that they did for the modified race that was on. Um, tie that in. That just really kind of set it up for the rest of it. And Fox did a good job, getting some of those old clips of the fights and everything. I was hoping so bad for just one good, madhouse moment, and it just never happened. I'll tell you when I thought it was going to happen here in a minute, but I mean, dude, like I wanted one of the guys in that modified to just run all the way across the
yeah,
track and just truck somebody, like straight in the safer barrier. Um, but it never happened. But they ended up having a good race. That guy that won, man, like he's an old guy. He doesn't even run every race anymore. And I really liked. He said in his interview after, he's like, I'm not running here for championships anymore. I'm just here to win. 'Cause that's all that matters. I loved the middle fingers at Burt Myers and Tim Brown both ways in that place. Like I've always wanted to go there once, and that did not make me want to go any less. And I really don't know that I want to go to NASCAR weekend. I think I'd rather just go to
yeah,
a regular show kind of and just experience, but like whenever they run the Twin 50s or something like that, or I think that's what they run. I know they run a 200 lap race, but I think they run twin 50s for the modifieds and like invert the field or something, which would be wild. And so I'd really like to go there and just sit down in it. There's been times at Bristol and Talladega where you still get that, like everybody cares about all the drivers and all that. But that was really cool. We get into Saturday. We do the qualifying thing. What'd you think? Did you watch qualifying for the Cup cars on
I
Saturday?
did not get
Okay.
to qualifying.
Yeah, I thought you had to work or something. But anyways, so they did 4-minute sessions, and it was like groups, basically, which was pretty cool. And I know that we don't do that at speedways because they're afraid people's going to catch a draft and all this. But dude, I like it, and they need to figure out how to do it. And I don't. Maybe they just need to make a rule that like if you get too close to somebody, your lap doesn't count. I don't know. I know that gets kind of gray area ish, but I really like it. It's faster. It's more entertaining. What was interesting was they gave him 4 minutes, and that most of them guys were pulling off before they finished because like by the time the fourth group and they split, it was 4 groups for the heats, and they split them all in half or whatever. And by the time that last group's out there, they took their 5 or 6 laps and parked it. Chase was in the last group, which was awesome. It's always good whenever the pole winner comes at the end.
Yeah.
There's just something about that. I miss that about like NASCAR and doing the practice and then doing their qualifying lineups based off practice. I actually really miss that part of that. Getting to go last if you're the fastest in practice. I love that. That was cool, kind of a throwback thing. And they did that. They ran those heats. The heats were. I didn't. Did you watch those or did you have a chance?
I was in and out of them. I was admin a race
Oh
for
yeah,
our
that's
team.
right. Y'all had to. Yeah. By the way, we didn't get to go to I-75 because somebody had to iRace.
Yeah.
JP.
Yeah.
Also, they got rained out on. This is a side note. They also got rained out Friday night, and they were gonna have 10 classes on Saturday. I was debating taking a 2-year-old, 2.25-year-old, but I was like, I just don't. That'd be too long, and I really don't want him to not like it. So, didn't make it down there to watch 8 crate cars race and 22 limited supers
Hey, this guy right
race.
here.
Corey
Winner.
did get the win, got him good and tuned up, took his easy money, went to the house. He
Yep.
didn't run the crate race. I was surprised.
Really?
Yeah, he only ran supers. They only had 8 crates. Like that's
Really?
it. Yeah, that's it. I guess everybody's racing to Florida. I don't know. Are the crates back at Volusia or something this week? Or they
I
might
don't
be
know.
Cal. I'm not sure. So there wasn't that many of them, but they had decent car counts all the way through. And like I said, they had 10 classes, and they got it done in a timely manner. It appeared from what I saw on the internet. It was sad to not go, but it was good. Got to spend time with the wife and the kid. We went to the zoo.
Oh, nice.
Instead, we went to the zoo. I saw monkeys. I saw a gorilla eating a turd. But anyways, big sidetrack. So Saturday they were running those heat races. The heat races were nowhere near as aggressive as I actually was expecting. I thought these guys were going to be kind of like pumped up and ready to knock the piss out of each other. The heat laps are only 25 laps, and only 4 of them, so that's only 100 laps. It really wasn't that long of a show. There was a couple cautions here and there, but nothing too crazy. Ooh, you added some notes in here. Add a baby. The one thing that I was gonna say about Saturday is like, I wish they would have done like a dash with all the heat winners, like 10
Something.
laps, like line them up 2 rows, 10 laps, just for fun, or even done a redraw or something like that. Um, you know, Obviously Chase qualified on the pole, won his heat, started on the pole. I mean, that's what happened, and I wish that they would have, added a little something to that. I kind of knocked on their format, I think, last week on the podcast, and I actually went back and looked at it, and I was like, actually, this is a pretty daggum good job. So, overall, I was happy with it. I thought it was pretty good, but I do wish they would have done like top 8 dash or, World Outlaw style. I really wanted 4. I know 4 is not a lot of cars on the track, but if you put the 4 best cars on the track for 10 laps, you can get good racing with 4 cars. So, that would have been cool. Other than that, then they went to the LCQ. Oh my gosh. That is
That
what
was
you
an
call,
interesting race there.
that is what you call shit show.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I enjoyed it. I knew it was going to be bad. I did not know it was going to be that bad. Um,
Definitely.
the whole like, I mean, dude, there was a lot of guys that missed this thing. That you really thought would have done better. Um, you know, like I was surprised Eric Jones was terrible. I don't know why. I just felt like Eric Jones was. I kind of thought he was gonna have a good year this year. He ended up getting wrecked. I really figured Austin Dillon would also get in. I was wearing an Austin Dillon shirt. Don't tell anybody. Um, just didn't quite get there. And I kind of expected AJ Allmendinger because he's fairly aggressive, and I thought the road course guys would do good there. I'm worried for AJ's season, honestly, a little bit after that. I hope he doesn't have to struggle through another colleague year in Cup. I was really hoping colleague was going to be able to step it up this year, and I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but we'll see. But yeah, they got through those. I don't have results for that. It was God, why can't I think of his name? Barry.
Yeah.
Barry got the win in the LCQ.
No, Larson. Didn't Larson win that?
Or I guess it was Larson. Larson and Barry were up there. They had a good fight, for sure. It was Larson that won. I'm sorry. But Barry got up there and in there. The thing about both of their cars after that,
They were destroyed.
dude, like I don't even know how Larson started because I was afraid he wasn't gonna have a grill.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they were showing it and they were kind of talking about like who's gonna do it, blah 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 blah, and you know he did end up making it, and he was basically a non-factor really in the actual show, but I you know I thought I was worried that it was gonna be a wreck fest in the main race. Whenever all that happened, I don't know about you, but I was like,
Yeah.
I'm afraid this is gonna be nothing but a wreck fest, and it wasn't. So. Uh, you know, I felt like that battle that Chase and Hamlin had was like typical Chase Elliott. Like, I'm going to piss this away at the end of a run. You know, I've spent some years as a fan. I've watched it happen, unfortunately. And a
Yeah.
lot of times it's to the 11 at a short track. Like, Denny's good. He knows how to save his tires. Um, and I thought when Denny got past Chase, that was going to be it. You know, he got past him. And he led there. And then Chase got back around him later, like about 75 to go or something like that, I think. And I was like, man, he's gonna do it. And then, dude, with about 50 to go, I was like, Boyer, Blaney is coming. You are
Yeah.
not lying. Like he was. I mean, he was moving. He started 23rd with the provisional there, and like had just kind of worked his way up through there. And he got to Chase, and you know they were coming through there. They got the lap cars. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm a Chevy fanboy, clearly, but like, I really wonder if those were Fords or Toyotas. If Blaney would have not won the race, they really helped Chase out there when he was lapping him. I thought. Did you have
Yeah.
any thoughts or opinions on that whole
Oh yeah,
situation?
they were definitely pulling out for him. I also want to make mention of whenever Chase got back by Denny there. I don't know if you saw it, but Jeff Gluck posted a video of the crowd when he passed him back, and dude, everybody just
Come
lost
unglued.
it.
Yeah, that's, you know, I mean, obviously they have a history, and I think they're kind of over it now, but I'm not over it. So I hate Denny still because of that, basically. And so that was cool. And dude, it kind of pissed me off because they were under caution, and like Hamlin wore out Elliott's bumper for like 2 laps
Yeah.
after he passed him. He couldn't get back past him, which you know I think is a little bit result of the car. But he made it through there. I really still thought that you know Blaney was going to get him always up to like 12 laps. And then Chase got past Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch, he made like a dodgy like
Yeah.
move back up under Blaney. I'm like, what are you doing? And then Blaney kind of like panicked a little bit and just barely overdrove it and then shoved. And then Busch got back under him, and that, I mean, to me that was when it was over pretty well. But
Yeah.
even like, did you see when Byron like runs the high side on entry, like always by the wall, lets Chase pass him, and then pulls down
Yeah.
in front of Blaney in the next turn? It's like
Suarez, I
riding the
think, kind of did
brakes.
the same
Suarez
thing.
did it. Yeah, I mean it was kind of rough. I mean, I was like, man, if only all the teams could work this good together. Can
Yeah,
you imagine if we had Chevrolet running the government? Damn.
yeah,
But Larson did the same thing there, and like Larson, like when Chase passed Larson, Larson like absolutely locks it up on the backstretch. Chase goes blowing by, and then Larson's doing a burnout to try to get back in front of Blaney for
yeah,
one turn, and they all did it for one turn. But man, it was like 4 or 5 of them for one turn, and that was enough. And like,
yeah,
I, I really was thinking to myself, like, golly, if there would have been hell, if Joey would have been back there, Chase wouldn't have passed him.
yeah,
So I don't blame him, but like that is kind of where we're at with these cars and stuff. And Chase did a really good job too. Like he was hitting them and he was telling them like, look, you can either move
yeah. I'll
right
move you.
now or you're getting moved. Um, and we did actually finally see some good like move people and pass people out of these cars, which we hadn't seen. There's been a lot of downshifting and driving away. Which leads me to my overall thing. So obviously I'm pumped. Chase wins the race, all that. And burnout, dog. Is that not like one of the best
That
burnouts
was
in a minute?
that was
Like,
awesome.
and I don't even know that it was really okay. Well, the drift up around the wall was pretty sick. And then I was thinking to myself, he's not going to do it in the grass. He's not going to do it in
Yeah,
the
and
grass. And
that's yeah,
I only know from that TV show, like, it's kind of a big deal for them not to F up the grass at Bowman Gray, right? Like,
yeah. It's a football field.
yeah, it's kind of a big deal. And I was like, I wonder if NASCAR, and then they never say anything on the broadcast about they told him they couldn't do it. And when he came and just absolutely yeeted it, I was like, oh, baby, we're
Yeah,
back. And I was like, and that was one of those moments too. Like as a Chase Elliott fan, I get so tired of hearing people say Chase Elliott don't have any personality. He don't do this. He don't do that. Blah 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 blah. But like in those moments right there when he does that, drift burnout, basically trying to one up Larson and SVG, like, he's like, hey, watch, I can do this too. And then he cuts that thing down to the grass and just lets it eat. I was like, that right there. Don't tell me he doesn't have any personality. He might hide it, but that's the real Chase Elliott right there. And he was excited, man. I'm cautiously optimistic for his year. Going forward from there. It does piss me off. He always wins short track races that don't count for points, i.e., Bristol Night All Star race. I don't know if you remember that.
yeah.
The Underglow race. God, that was the stupidest thing, the Underglow by manufacturer. That is the dumbest thing NASCAR's ever done. Sorry, I just remembered that. But I'm pumped. Like I was excited. Like the wife's trying to go to bed. The race is over, and I'm like, I'm woke, crunk.
Yeah.
I know we had talked about doing the podcast maybe last night, and I was like, no, let's just do it Monday because it's gonna be too late. I
Yeah.
could have done it last night. I was ready to go. Jacked up, woke up. I went to work at like 5 o'clock this morning. Wore my Napa racing hat. It was great.
Oh yeah.
So I was pretty pumped about that overall. But so overall, I'm gonna give Bowman Gray Clash grade. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5. That's a high grade for me because I'm leaving room for improvement. I'm not much to give more than 9. But the reason I'm gonna give it 8.5 is I want it to be points. kind of. I kind of want a points race there. The pit stops will be the problem, and I don't. It's too much of the sport possibly to just completely dump the pit stop. So I don't know if there's a way to
Yeah.
figure that out. I'm not sure that there is.
Yeah.
But if they could, I would like to see that there. That would be cool. And like, other than that though, I thought it was pretty good, man. Like, the fight, I really wanted to fight. What was your grade?
I'd probably give it around we'll go 7.5. It was a good race, and the feature was somewhat clean, but at Bowman Gray you kind of expect for some, like you said earlier, somebody to do something crazy stupid, and there never really was that happened in the race last night, and I kind of wish we had some kind of moment.
Yeah, so I promise you the time when I thought it was going to happen. Whenever Ricky stuffed Burt Myers, I was
Yeah,
like, Burt, this is your chance.
yeah,
Like, this is it. We've all been waiting for it. And he
yeah,
got out of the car and he looked, and I was like, damn, those AMR guys are right there. Shit. I was like, they're gonna stop him, and they did. And I knew that he kind of wanted it. Like I really felt like in his mind he was like, I could do this because this will be very Bowman Gray, and people would know if I
Sell
did
a
it.
lot of T-shirts.
Like, I mean, I'd have bought one for
Yeah,
sure. Oh, show, son, if he'd have gone over there and found Ricky. I mean, it'd been a good one. I wish he would have got him the pits. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I was disappointed. I thought that was the chance. I don't know what in the hell Ricky was thinking, but to be honest with you, I say that about once a Sunday. So,
that's a Recky Spinhouse
like,
for you.
and Eddie moved him. He's like, I mean, I moved him, but like this is Bowman Gray. That's what we do. And I guess Ricky just wasn't okay with finishing behind him or whatever, and he absolutely stuffed him in there. Um, but okay, so what I was gonna say about that. So I saw on X this morning when I was scrolling, something about like somebody off of his team and on the 50 card posted like a picture by the hauler and was like, "Where you at, Ricky?" I think it was kind of a reference to Kyle Busch
Yeah,
incident or whatever. And then Ricky tweeted or X'd him back, and he was like, "Hey, I mean, I was waiting for y'all all night. Nobody ever showed up at my truck. If you're mad at me, you come find me." And I was like, "Oh, Ricky getting feisty, and there's not even any points involved. This is gonna be a long year." Um, so yeah, I'm with you. I was hoping for I didn't want anything like stupid, but what I really wanted was two cars trying to tag each other in the grass. That's what I wanted. Uh, Obviously I think Bert's car was probably too junked for that. I hated that him or Tim Brown didn't do any better than they did, man.
yeah.
I really wanted a promoter provisional just to put him in there. Honestly, like I know that's kind of old school thing, short track kind of thing, just to put somebody in. But like, hey, when Kyle Larson goes to Bulls Gap, they put him at the back. William Byron, you remember how slow he was?
It's
They put
terrible.
him at the back of the field. Like,
Yeah,
and he deserves that. And like, those guys at Bowman Gray, like they were obviously in much lesser equipment, but in my mind, they kind of deserve that same treatment. So, kind of hated that they didn't at least get one of them in the thing, but you know, it worked out okay. Other than that, I don't know that I got much more. You gonna tell us a little bit about your iRacing week?
yeah. So Monday night, the iRacing World of Outlaws Pro Series had their championship race. Coming into the night, Logan Rumsey was leading the points. He had a 78-point lead, I believe it was. Yeah, above Kendall Tucker. All he really had to do to win the championship was make the feature, and he went out and set the pole. So it was locked after qualifying. He went on, I think he finished third or something. But yeah, he won his $10,000 check that he'll get actually at Volusia when World Outlaws goes back, I believe.
Okay, like next week.
Yeah. And also, we got to get a shout out to one of my teammates who was actually in this race, Hayden Tollison. He won his heat race and drove from 12th to 4th, all while being very sick in the feature that night. So shout out to him.
Awesome. So I got some questions, and there's some other people on here that are too. So how many races is in the Pro Championship Series for Outlaws?
So this year was actually very different than any years they've done before. They used to do, a sprint car series and then a late model series separate. But the way they did it this year was they would do 1 week late model and then the next week sprint car.
Oh wow!
And it all combined together. And they actually made it a different qualifying format too. You had to qualify for the race every week instead of making the series.
Mm.
So they would have, pro qual races every week, and you'd have to lock in from points that you would get from. They had, I think, 3 races every week, and the higher SOF your splits are, the more points you get for winning or wherever you finish.
Yeah, just for those of y'all that don't know, this was probably harder to make than Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez. That's awesome. So is that the same 10,000 that Hayden won a couple years ago?
Yes.
That same
Yeah.
championship? So is he buying a late model?
I believe he actually races sprint cars
Oh,
in real life, and
what a
I believe
loser.
he won the sprint car series maybe last year or 2 years before.
Sprint cars aren't even real cars. They don't have starters. When you get
I
a
would
starter,
agree.
come back and talk to me. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Just kidding, just kidding. It's all in good fun. We don't race them in Tennessee. I don't know if y'all know. We don't know how to push start anything here. If it doesn't have a starter, we don't do it. They were at one point talking about making like a crate motor sprint car, which would be weird and cool maybe. But well, that's awesome. I hopefully one day, we're gonna see you up here in the Pro Series. I know you have a lot of time on your hands now, so you should be able to get
Yeah,
that done. I just want to see the 78J get the dub.
that's not gonna happen.
I mean, it could.
I don't
Okay.
have that kind of free time.
Whatever.
I also need about 5,000 more I rating to do that.
Well, just takes practice, kid. That's all it takes. I know somebody that got banned from iRacing for 2 weeks for wrecking somebody. I need to tell you that story out on the
Oh,
podcast. You'll enjoy that. You will laugh.
oh man,
It was in a C-class street stock race, too. That's the best part. And he has I mean, his I rating is pretty high, like probably like
somebody that drives the
335. Nah,
Xfinity
nah, nah.
car.
Nope. I don't know what you're talking about. Nope. Nope. Don't know what you're
Hmm.
talking about. Anyways, all right. In the moving of time here, we're kind of gonna move on here. I'm gonna start doing like a quote of the week, and we're gonna do like a X of the week. We kind of already covered both these. So we're kind of gonna blow through these, and we're gonna do some head-to-head picks and shut it down because we're getting over an hour, and you people won't click on this if it says longer than an hour in the podcast store. So, the quote of the week was RTJ after he wins Friday night. He was like, yeah, everybody's gonna get on Facebook and go home and complain about the track prep, blah 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 blah. And he's like, but really, their man just needs to get better. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And then he wrecked the next night. Just want to point that out too. But I did like it, and he's embracing that role a little bit. I think a lot of people kind of don't like him for some reason. I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
it's the haircut or the team or the teeth or I don't know. I like Ricky. I have the whole time. Ever since we saw him at the Dome when we went, I've always liked it, Ricky, and he seems like he works really hard, which is something I definitely appreciate in that. Uh, the X of the week. Elon never got back to me. Big shock. Um, Stenhouse hitting up Burt Myers guys back in the response. Hey, I was waiting for you. Just come on over anytime. I thought it was pretty good that Ricky Stenhouse already fighting with people on X and we hadn't even started the season. So definitely a big fan of that. All right, to finish this up, we're going to do some head-to-head pick'ems. The goal is going to be to do like about 5 a week. I didn't really have 5 this time. I don't want to do more than 3 in one series. And just kind of with what's going on, we really have the Ocala deal this week. So basically, you're going to get to pick one. I'm going to get to pick one, and we're going to have to type that in the notes so we can keep track of it. And then I'm just going to total it up each week, and we're going to do week wins and overall score. All right,
okay.
and sometime we'll decide which one's more important. I kind of think the week wins I enjoy more than the overall, but the overall is gonna be a tiebreaker, I guess.
Okay.
So we'll start out with one real easy, something I know you've been studying up on: Chiefs or Eagles.
The referees. Oh, I mean the Chiefs. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
You don't even watch football, and that's a problem.
Well,
Shit, you're
I
probably
seen a
just gonna
video
be
the other day
watching for Taylor Swift.
of talking about the proper way to sack Patrick Mahomes, and they're like, well, first you got to read him a bedtime story and give him a warm glass of milk and cookies and
Yeah.
tuck him in, and
So
there's still a flag.
I think everybody's expecting to be the Chiefs. I think winning 3 Super Bowls in a row is really hard. I think if it is rigged, they can't have the Chiefs win because it'll blow the plot. So I'm going to take the Eagles. I think Saquon Barkley's a stud. I'm taking the Eagles, and I have already put my money where my mouth is. Trust me. So at the end of the NFL season, I made pretty decent there on the DraftKings, and we're trying to double down for sure. So I'm gonna take the Eagles, and everybody's gonna tell me I'm an idiot. I also took the over, just for the record, at 48. For anybody that's interested, that the Eagles and the over. I think it's gonna be a lot of touchdowns. All right, moving on. The only race that we really had to pick from. So how we're doing this is obviously this is just head to head. So we kind of got to pick how you want to do this, and I was going to leave this up for discussion. So obviously they're going to race 3 nights or 4 nights or 5 nights in this case. Most weekends it's probably going to be 2. So we can either do best finish of the week between these drivers, or he can do average finish. I kind of think that for most, I kind of like the better finish.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then, the second finish would be the tiebreaker. So this week, obviously, there's 5 races, so they're going to have some time, but I still think we're going to go best finish, then we'll just go down the line as tiebreakers, all right? So up first in the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series, Brandon Overton versus Garrett Alberson. Who has the better finish than Ocala?
I'm going to say Alberson. I think he's been really good this year so far, and I really like him, and I think he's going to have a big year this year, so we're going to go with Alberson.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Overton is actually going to get a win this week, and I don't think Alberson will. Ocala is that one that has that real tight. I should know this. It has a real tight end, right? Like
I
one
think
end's
so.
smaller.
Yeah.
It's almost like a triangle. Alberson's usually a little bit better at the hammer down. So I'm going to take Overton to actually get a win. Alberson will run good, but I'm actually going to take Overton for the win, per usual, to get one. Tyler Brunig versus Jimmy Owens. And this one to me is interesting because Jimmy is probably underperformed to where he's run, and Brunig might kind of be doing better than he should be.
Yeah. Am I picking first, or you picking
Yeah,
first?
go ahead.
I think Jimmy Owens there. Got to stick with the Tennessee boys on that one.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Owens as well. Not that I'm really trying to do anything the same as you, but I'm also going to go with that. And here's one interesting kind of, we talked about this underperforming for Bishop, and T-Mac's been he's been there, but not there. So who you got, T-Mac or Bishop, to have a better run down here?
I'm going to take Bishop. I think they're going to get their shit together and figure out how to run that thing and maybe get a top 3 this weekend.
Man, I don't know on this one. Shoot. I'm gonna go Timmy again. I think he'll run better. I think the track's gonna be a little bit better for him. It's also gonna be better for Shepard though, just honestly, than what Alltech was, probably. And I do think, obviously the time they have to get dialed in. The interesting thing I thought about putting them against each other is both of them really should probably be getting better at the same time right now. Essentially driving Rocket House Car 1 and 1A. So,
Yeah.
kind of curious to see how that goes. And then, like I said, we'll catch up on the scores on that. If anybody wants to get in on this Pick'ems thing, I'm going to start posting them ahead of time, I guess, or at least when I post the podcast, I post it on X or Facebook or both or something. Because I know, D-Watt will want to get in on this and get his picks in. I don't know if anybody else will or not, but we'll get that out there. If anybody wants to do it, you're more than welcome to. We'll try to put you along, keep you in the little spreadsheet I'll have to make to keep up with the score. But other than that, it's going to be a good week. I'm ready to watch a little bit of dirt racing at Ocala, Florida. Lucas Oil, you think it'd be a good car count?
I hope so.
I guess it should be. Like, you think Pierce will show up or anything like that?
Maybe.
I know they don't have to go back to race to Volusia. I'm just curious if any of them guys that weren't there do arrive and do something. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Other than that, you got anything else for the road?
Not really.
All right. Well, we'll see you. Hold on. YouTube. I'm putting this on YouTube this week. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, feel free to check us out there. Also, find me on X at _ caution flag, or at scasper007 is my personal. You're more than welcome to find me there. Give us a like, follow, subscribe, share. Appreciate you guys listening. Enjoy it. We are going to get out of here. Y'all hammer down. Thank y'all for listening to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. Our theme music is Hard as Steel by Alex Productions. Thank you all for listening. Hammering down. Find a good race to watch. We'll see you next time.